Hello, welcome to day one of 7th grade music online here at Distance Learning Pineapple Cove. It's a little bit unusual, but today we'll be in the classroom for the first time, our digital classroom. So I wanted to show you here that I can control this and we can continue to learn. So today is the first day of basics, and what you'll really be seeing in the papers that I posted for you are that we're starting primarily with rhythms. So today is all of the foundations of rhythms, including the first 5 vocabulary words that we'll be jumping into. So what you're seeing right here is what's called the stream of your classroom. It's like the home page. It has everything that's posted as an update. So if you scroll down, you'll see that your weekly calendar is here, and the weekly calendar will always have your day-to-day instructions from me. So Distance Learning Week 1, in the boxes are your to-do lists. So you can see that for today, for Monday, it says watch this video, and it says follow along with your blank rhythm paper. So I'm going to show you where your blank rhythm paper is posted, and if you have the ability to print that out ahead of time, that would be awesome. Feel free to pause this video if you need to. It is posted with the rest of your documents directly below where that schedule is. So your worksheets for week 1 are right here, and your blank rhythm paper is your first one. So if you were to click on it, it would pop up here. This allows us to do rhythmic notation and write rhythms for the first time. If you have it and a pencil, then you're ready to go. You can see I have it pulled up on this page. And what we're going to be doing with this is working with 2 types of notes today. This is essentially just blank sheet music waiting for us to add the notes. And you can notate music in this way whenever you hear a song or a singer or a teacher speaking rhythms. And that's the skill that we call music notation. So notation is when the music makes its way to your ear and you're able to notate it, to take notes, or to write your music notes on your page. What you're looking at right now would be the simplest rhythm for us to notate, because there is only one type of note happening. You'll see here 2 measures, which is one of our vocabulary words, and each one contains a total of 4 beats. We are going to be working with 4 beats per measure for the bulk of this quarter. So for right now, feel free to assume at any time that that's what's happening here. So if you are highlighting one measure at a time, once you reach those 4 beats, that measure is full. It's completely full of notes. We have to go on to the next measure. And we count them with numbers. So beat 1, we would say 1, we would say 2, 3, 4. Now this type of note that we're looking at, which is filled in, it is specifically a quarter note because it takes up 1/4 of the measure. So if we're thinking math fractions here, you can see that this would be 1/4 of the measure. Now you may have noticed that we're seeing 2 measures here. They are divided by a bar line. More about that tomorrow. And if we were to speak them back to back, we would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But the most helpful thing to do to perform music is not to show the numbers with your hand. I'm limited to this small screen today, but it's actually to keep the steady beat by tapping with your hand. So when you're tapping, you'll want to keep the beat on your knee or very close to your knee. That creates a lot of firing neurons in your brain. So you'll see me tapping here, and I challenge you at home to also please tap along so that you are activating both sides of your brain and we're learning together at the same time. So with your hands, every time that your hand goes down, you're essentially creating the time of 1/4 note. So when your hand taps, we will say a number. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we made it through both measures. Now, of course, these notes are the most simple type, and the quarter notes can change. You can see me change them in the blink of an eye here by manipulating this software that I'm using. I just combined two quarter notes, and this half note now, which you'll know by the end of this week, is now taking up half of the measure. So measure 2 is now 1, 2, 3. There is now no note starting on beat 4. If you already know this, then congratulations, you're in great shape for today. We have not yet notated anything. We're just performing these rhythms by speaking them out loud, or we might call that rhythm reading. But I want to show you what it would look like to do notation for the first time. So here on your blank rhythmic notation paper, if you are working with one measure, feel free to take up the entire line. I'm going to use the rhythm 1, 2, 3, 4. So at this time, although I'm not able to draw them, I will create those 4 notes for you on the lines, and I'm wanting them to be quarter notes. And yes, they are a little bit hideous, but we're making it work. And I have to fill them in for them to be quarter notes. Oh, that is beautiful. Hopefully at home, yours are less hollow than mine. Not made for the computer, right? So we're going to fill all these in to make sure that they are truly quarter notes, each taking up 1/4 or 1/4 of the measure, and our measure is complete. So you would have done a rhythmic notation right now if you heard me say, please write the measure 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you would write this as your answer. What I want to show you is what would happen. Let me switch to a pencil. Hopefully this goes smoothly. What if you were notating a 2-measure exercise of rhythms? We would draw a line down the middle so that we have space for measure 1 and space for measure 2. And I'm going to notate the same rhythms that I just showed you in that website. So I would say, have your pencil ready to notate. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And you would notate as you listen, just like I did here on this second line. To hear the rhythm performed and to write down the notes accurately on sheet music is called rhythmic notation. And rhythmic notation is one of our first vocabulary words today. So I'm going to go ahead and type that here for you. Now, rhythmic notation is when you physically are taking notes of music from your ear to the page. And you've seen here that we talked about dividing this up into 2 measures. So here we have measure 1, which contains 4 beats. And here we have measure 2, which contains 4 beats. A measure is a small chunk of music, and we want to hear it in small chunks so that we can process once the song gets longer. So you have your second vocabulary word there. Now, when we kept steady beat by tapping, that might be a great thing for you to continue to do while you're working on music notation. So I'm going to write steady beat down here. Steady beat is what keeps the constant rhythmic pattern and flow. Without steady beat, a quarter note would not equal a quarter note that follows it later in the song. They have to be the same length of time. And so we'll be keeping steady beat together with a tap on your knees. Don't be afraid to do this at home. These rhythms are not pitched rhythms because there's no melody or tune here. We've been speaking them. We haven't been saying 1, 2, 3, 4. So I want to go ahead and put a vocab word here for you that this is unpitched. Just like when you play a percussion instrument or you play the drum or you clap your hands, it's not a high note, it's not a low note, it's not a note at all. That would be unpitched. So we're going to add that to our list. And finally, what is rhythm itself? And I'm going to put a question mark here because it is the main topic of today. But don't worry, I'm not leaving you on your own. Going back to your website, posted in your worksheets was your vocabulary card. There are only 2 vocabulary cards coming your way this quarter, but it was beautiful when we could print these double-sided. So if you are looking for your definitions, scroll down to page 2, and we're looking for the word rhythm. Your vocabulary card defines rhythm, notation, measures, all of these things that we'll be talking about this week. It defines rhythm as the pattern of stressed and unstressed beats in music. Stressed and unstressed shows that there is an emphasis on different pieces of music. And we add emphasis on things all of the time. We do it when we talk. We don't talk like this, where everything is the same. And one of the things that this pattern of rhythms creates is that when you're listening to a song or you're hearing a song live, you know what beats to clap on. So you're not the only person who has to guess when to clap. This idea of what rhythm already is and does, you've absorbed it already. It's within you. Don't worry. I just wanted to show you this official definition, and feel free to use the rest of your card to check out some upcoming topics. This would be a great one to print, but if you can't, I understand. Don't worry about it. I'm going to duck out for 1 second and show you this YouTube video that I found, which covers a lot of basics. It is posted by Green Scale Guitar, and I'm going to pause it halfway before it gets into too many different types of music notes, but I hope you enjoy.
Every piece of music has an underlying beat. A metronome counts out a regular beat. We can speed it up, and we can slow it down, but the beats always stay regular. Counting out a beat in 4s makes what we call a measure. A measure is just a block of music into which we can drop musical notes. Note symbols show us the rhythm we need to play on top of a beat. Let's listen to these 4 symbols one by one and see what they do. First, we have the whole note. A whole note takes up a whole measure, leaving no room for anything else. This means it lasts for 4 beats. A half note takes up half a measure. This means it lasts only 2 beats. A quarter note takes only a quarter measure and lasts for 1 beat. And an eighth note takes up an eighth of a measure and lasts only half a beat. This makes the eighth note a little more tricky because it's faster and we have to count it differently. When we count 1, 2, 3, 4, we're counting every beat. But when a note lasts for only half a beat, we need a way to count in between the beats. The simplest way to do this is to count like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The number lasts for half a beat, and the and lasts for half a beat. Let's put all these notes together now into a short piece of music. Remember, we have to fill up every bar with notes, and the beats have to add up to 4.
All right, I'm back. Welcome back. We're going to end today by showing you the syllabus for this class, which hasn't changed from the typical classroom setting. It's posted directly next to your weekly calendar. So if you find that week 1, take a look at your syllabus here. It does not require a signature, which does simplify things. And in an ideal grading world, we have the Pineapple Cove grading policy here. So I'm going to ask you to please take a look at this with your family, make sure everybody's familiar with it, feeling comfortable with it. And we are slowing down the pace of the typical quarter, but in order to be prepared for 8th grade next year, I want to go ahead and teach you the foundations as best we can so that you'll be familiar and have some of those basic ideas and foundational skills as well, because music is both knowledge based and skill based. All right, well, I am so excited for a chance to work with you. If you have any questions, please leave them in the classroom, and I'll be checking it all the time. I will be here, and I'm just excited to get some feedback from you guys, and I hope that you're doing well. See you tomorrow. Bye!